so, you know, even with this water test coming back clean, so to speak, or assuming that the whole thing does, you know, making the assumption that the bacteria culture is going to come back negative for E. coli. There are things that that test is not testing for that I'm also very curious about. You know, those things, the nitrates, the pH, the pesticides, the chlorine, what was the other one? The bacteria, you know, those are what I would call conventional pollutants that we're used to looking at and assuming are the culprit, you know, they're the usual suspects, so to speak. Guys are so sick. Anyway, as I was saying, the water, there's other things that are in it, so specifically pharmaceuticals, and that test, I'm not sure that you could do a home test for all of the pharmaceuticals that are potentially in water supply that are very, very, very difficult to pull out. And the reason I am specifically, my interest is piqued is because the one thing so far that has been high in the test, it was on the high end, it was on the low end of high, but it was still on the high end, was the hardness of the water. And what does that mean? The hardness of the water is how much metals and minerals are dissolved in the water, how many rocks are in your water. And rocks are hard, so that's what makes the water hard. The water's got some rocks in it. And all of these or many of these pharmaceuticals, in particular psychiatric medications, are comprised of largely metallic substances. Let's take one of the most popular or one of the most common psychiatric medications. It's one of the oldest psychiatric medications out there on the market, which is lithium. And lithium is traditionally used to, or has been traditionally used to, as a chemotherapy for bipolar disorder, or what used to be known as manic depressive disorder. Now, I have question about whether or not this diagnosis actually exists, or if as many people have it as what are diagnosed. There was kind of an epidemic of diagnoses of bipolar disorder in the 90s, and lots of people who actually were dealing with other issues were diagnosed with this disorder. Now, lithium is a metallic salt. And I actually have a chunk of natural lithium. Hold on. Okay, so this is lithium. And lithium is a metallic salt. And it's, you know, I'm not going to, I can't tell you off the top of my head what the specific gravity of lithium is, or what the specific hardness of lithium is. So, you know, there's a scale of classification and of attributes that are measured with any mineral, and you know, it's like hardness and clarity, and you know, how it's formed, and yada 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 yada. What I can tell you touching the lithium is that it feels porous. This is not a slick feeling stone. It feels kind of rough to the touch, and it is slightly iridescent and looks like that we have some iron oxide here, that orange color there, that rust color, that's iron oxide, I would assume, most likely. And then the purple is the lithium, and then there's some white stone on here as well. I'm not sure what that is. I'd be hesitant to say it's quartz, because quartz is harder than lithium, and this feels kind of flaky, and it's definitely a cloudy color. But I don't know. As I'm touching the lithium here, it's flaking off. There's little shimmery, like pieces of glitter, lithium glitter on my hand, and it's iridescent. And Smell, it actually has, it does have a, if you've got a sensitive sniffer, you can smell it. And it smells kind of sweet. Sweet and a little bit base. And I'm not gonna lick it because lithium can also make you very sick. It can cause motor tremors, anything from fine motor tremors up through Seizures. It can cause water retention. It can cause liver failure in high doses. It definitely can give you diarrhea. And it can alter your body's ability to regulate hormone production and cause severe weight gain in a fairly short period of time. Can also cause lethargy and dry mouth and I don't know, like weird dreams and things if you ingest it, if you take it. You know, it can be dangerous, but your body then will pee out a lot of this stuff, or you know, not all of it, but a lot of it. Some of it your body will still hold on to, and it gets into the water supply, and they're not doing anything to treat the water. It's very, very expensive to filter out these psychiatric medications, these metals. And so when you're testing your city water or whatever water it is, whatever water supply it is that you're drinking from, that you're pulling from, and if it reads as being hard, the water reads as being hard, and it's not water coming out of the ground where there's mineral mines or whatever, then you know that there's a potential that your water is actually contaminated with pharmaceutical medications. And that's scary too. That's scary too. So I'm very curious to know what levels of medications, metals, of metallic salts that are dissolved in the general water supply, because that test I'm doing, it's not going to tell me that. So I thought I'd change it up a little bit as far as background's concerned. Same room as normal, just from a different view. This is the view I have sitting at my easel, and I'm getting ready to do some paintings. I've said that a bunch of times now, and people are like, well, just do the painting already. 2 months ago, I ordered this kit from Ancestry.com, and it's a DNA mapping kit. It says, you know, welcome to Ancestry DNA. Activate kit online, gather DNA, simple and easy. And the thing is, this wasn't cheap. This thing was like 120 bucks. And then inside the kit is, I guess, I haven't opened any of it up, but it's probably like mouth swabs and saliva collection and stuff like that. I would guess there might be a thumb prick. I don't know. I go back and forth about this because part of me is really, really interested to know what, you know, for sure, what my genetic footprint says about the path of my ancestor, my ancestral heritage. And, you know, they can prove who people you're related to if they're already in the database. Once you submit, they can tell you people that you're related to without a doubt, whether or not you know those people or not. And that's interesting. That, you know, all of that's interesting to me. But I also have some apprehension. My apprehension is this: once you send in your sample, what happens to that genetic material and that information in that catalog? Who owns that? You know, we're fighting this battle about genetics in our food sources, and you know, that comes down to who owns those genetics. And it's what patenting, what all those patent laws are about. That's how companies like Monsanto have a business, because that's what they own, right? That's what they actually own. They might sell a farmer some seeds or sell you some pesticide for your yard or whatever, but what that company actually owns is genetic material. And I don't know, there's something about having a huge bank of commercially collected human genetic material that is systematically categorized and logged that makes me a little bit nervous given current laws. So while this sounds like a lot of fun to find out, it's like, ooh, what's your pedigree? And that is very interesting. I have ethical concerns. I don't know, maybe I will do it. I don't know. I don't want anybody trying to lay claim to my genetic pattern at any time. It's mine. It's mine.
You bought feed and we made feed.
You bought feed and you made feed, but the seeds for your tomatoes, the seeds for your kitchen garden, the seeds for your cornfields, did you buy those or did you bank those yourself?
The chickens you bought, you had to buy.
She said, hey Pop, she said seeds for tomato plants. Where'd you get your seeds?
You got the seeds from tomatoes.
You banked your own seeds. Did you know that today most farms do not keep their own seeds? Most farmers don't keep their own seeds. You have to buy seeds because they're genetically modified and they're patented. And so it's illegal to keep your seeds. Unless you have heirlooms.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's crazy.
I think they're crazy too. How many seeds would you get? Okay. Good morning. First things first, orange juice, right? Oh, I'm lying. I've already had coffee too. And you know what else I had? I had cold pizza because one of the best things is to wake up in the morning and be hungry and then remember you got some leftover pizza from the night before and be like, yay! It's like a present. Okay. Now, it's been 48 hours since I did my water test. Remember? Okay, bacteria test. And it is purpley pink, which means that it is negative for bacteria. Well, thank God. Thank God. So, according to the instructions, I'm just supposed to dump it down the toilet. Whatever. Now, I got on my my little robe here. This is my hair dyeing robe. And because these tresses are not 100% natural. I mean, they're growing out of my head, right? But my color, I use henna. I told you I have reaction to red dye. I used to dye my hair red. All different colors. I've been all different colors. I've been all kinds of crazy colors, but I used to dye my hair like strawberry shortcake red. It's like really a natural kind of red color. And I'm allergic to red dye, and it just got to the point where I can't tolerate those dyes anymore, and it bums me out because I like putting fun color on my hair, and I have trouble, doing that. It doesn't matter whether or not the product is cruelty free. I have, the red dye I have, anyway, I can't use it anymore. So I now use henna on my hair, and henna is a natural dye. It's been used for like a really long time, and it's the same kind of stuff as what, you know, you see women with the designs on their hands. It's the same stuff. So it's a temporary plant-based dye. And I'm using, right now I'm using this brand Rainbow. You can get it at the grocery store. I think I got this at Berkeley Bowl. And it's a green powder. There's different shades, and you can get different shades. The shade that I'm using is called Persian Red. And all of them are going to look about the same inside. It's going to look like this green powder, and it smells like tea. I mean, it really does. It smells like tea. And once we get it mixed up here, it's going to look like baby poop. Now, my natural hair color isn't that much different than this. My hair doesn't naturally have this much red in it, but I do have some red tones in my hair. I also have some gold tones in my hair. I mean, my hair is all different colors, actually. My hair's been that way. Like when I was born, I had jet black hair, and it all was standing up in a point. And then my hair, as I got a little bit older, turned blonde. So, you know, usually babies are born with blonde hair and then it turns darker. No, I went the other way. I was born with black hair, and my hair then turned blonde. And then when I was in about seventh grade, my hair started getting dark underneath. So my hair had always been very blonde on top, and then underneath in eighth grade it started getting darker, and then, you know, it all changed colors, and then I started putting crazy colors on my hair when I was in high school. So I now have some grays, and well, my hair isn't gray. It's actually white. Like when I find them and I pull one out and I look at it, it's white. I don't have gray hair. I have white hair coming in, but not a whole lot, just a few. But that's not why I dye my hair. I like the red, and I've been wearing red in my hair for a very long time. So anyway, rainbow henna. I'm gonna put about, I'm gonna shake some in here. There's the directions will give you exact measurements, but after you do it a couple times, you'll see. And depending on how much hair you have to mix up more or less. So this is way more than one application. If I were to dump all of this into my little dish, and this is important, with henna, you can't use anything metal. You need to use glass or plastic, and it's because of chemical reaction or whatever. It'll using metal will make your color funky. So I'm putting in, I don't know, what's that like so far? That's maybe like 3 tablespoons of henna. It's about a third of the container. So I also have a rat tail mixing brush, and it's also plastic. You don't want to use anything metal with henna. Right now, you can do things like if I had all white hair, all of my hair was white, and I was using this, it would be a pretty bright color, kind of Ronald McDonald-y color, and I don't want that much punch on my head right now, and so I tone the color down, and I do that by using coffee. So whatever liquid you're using, it needs to be warm, and I'm using coffee. So you could use tea, or you could just use hot water. But I'm gonna pour what's left in here into the henna powder. It's probably like a third of a cup, a little less than that, maybe a quarter cup. And then for conditioning, now henna is a natural conditioner. You'll find conditioners that have henna in them already, because it helps soften and texturize your hair. But I use, sometimes when you put the henna directly onto your hair, it has a funny texture, and so I like to use a little bit of olive oil. You can also use apple cider vinegar. If you're having issues with pH, but I'm not having pH issues, so I'm not going to use the vinegar. But I'm going to use this olive oil here, and this specific olive oil is from Palestine. Hearing today about the most recent attack in France. On their Independence Day. It's very sad, and why this really is an issue. The people that are perpetrating these violences, and they'll use things like the plight of the Palestinian people to justify their actions. And I am the first to, my heart's one of the first to bleed for the people of Palestine, which is, why I will buy and support Palestinian businesses like the one that produces this olive oil, because I believe in peace, and I believe that peace can be achieved through economy. And the people that perpetrate these violences, they care nothing for these justifications that they give. They care no more for Muslims than they do for anybody else. They don't care. In a free country, people of all faiths go about their lives side by side in community. And so when these mass attacks happen, it's not just against any one group, it's against everybody. Anyway, I only have about maybe 1 tablespoon, or maybe not even that, maybe it's more like a couple teaspoons of olive oil left in here, and I'm going to use this on my head today. It's a really delicious olive oil. Anyway, I'm going to mix this up and put it on my head, let it sit there for 45 minutes while I got to wrap my head in a plastic bag too. So I'll put this on my head, wrap my head in a plastic bag, leave it on for 45 minutes, and then I will wash it out.
Okay, let's see.
Arise from your ashes, what sword from your eyes, and allow yourself cool sip of water. For you have been to hell and back with the soot from your eyes, have a cool sip of water. Arise from your ashes, what sword from your eyes, and allow yourself a cool sip of water. For you have not a coat for your back, with the soot from your eyes, and a cool sip of water. Wandering out in the desert, what's up